Okay, well, I said I'll be doing a video, so here it is. Now, in case anyone didn't realise, I pulled the engine out of the Hilux just before Christmas, I think it was. Yeah, and decided that on a whim. But anyway, if anyone that doesn't know, I'm actually doing a EV conversion, and if anyone doesn't know what an EV conversion, that means I'm doing a electric conversion. So yeah, something completely different. I won't go exactly into the details of why just yet because I can't be bothered, to be honest, but long story short, I'm sort of fed up with combustion engines as a whole, so I thought I'd give this a go, and it fits in with the whole plans got in mind for the house, with, to be ecologically sustainable and that jazz, but more to the point, it actually makes a lot of economical sense. So yeah, but anyway, as you can see, the engine bay is pretty clear. I've just about pulled out anything that is not really needed, which is most things. We still need to keep the brakes in place, and also power steering. I've got my air conditioning pump down here. I've got to sort of pretty much figure out a way to weld up a little bracket of some sort, and I'm going to run them separately on their own little electric motor. I've got those in the shed, I'll show you later. I've harvested them motors out of the thermo fans out of the old Falcon, actually. Anyway, but you'll see that all in the future. I've still yet to make any of that kind of stuff, but yeah. I've also been sort of slowly dismantling my old tray and canopy setup. I was originally going to keep it all in place and make a completely new one, but when you haven't got really any money to spend, so you sort of have to be a bit creative and reuse a lot of things. But it's coming together pretty well, as you'll see in the shed. It just worked out a lot more logical in the long run, just to make a completely custom tray. That way I can make everything I need just to be inbuilt into it, exactly where I need it, nice, neat and professional. And like I said, pretty much got plenty of materials on the old tray and stuff in the shed to make it at a minimal cost. But I'll take you inside and show you that next. Alright, so here's what I've built so far. As you can see, reused lights off the old tray, all the alloy sides. So it's a bit hard to get the right angle walking around the phone, but anyway. But that's it. I've reused all the sides off the old tray because, again, they're not exactly the cleanest, but they're still good. Nothing wrong with them, Anyway, you can save money. I've just gone for a plywood floor now. The floor, I've made it so it's very simple. So basically, I can slide these boards out. I'll try and show you this. Basically, you'll have it'll be screwed down. You easily unscrew it and then simply slide back. You can slide them back as far as you want, right out if you want to, because I plan to be able to make it so I can put a completely, pre-made interchangeable camp back setup. I can just slide in there, and if I want to basically make it where I have the whole tray clear, all it does matter is just basically unscrewing that floor, sliding that whole camp back out, and sliding these, plain floor back in there. And by doing this, it also gives me access to my battery box, which I've custom built. Obviously, this whole tray is custom built, hence why I've made it, because I can put things like this in here. So this box, I've made it to the size to be big enough to hold, what was the calculation again? Basically, the first pack, the pack I'm going to put in the ute is going to have, I think it has 16 battery packs. I'm making the battery packs, and they all fit onto these plywood boards. These plywood boards are all cut to the right size, and you'll see these two bits of threaded rod here. They go right through down the bottom of the box underneath. So when the tray is on the ute, basically all these batteries, your positive, sorry, on the camera. You got your your bus bars here, so the positive and the negative terminal. They just slot down over, obviously, It's still a bit funky now, but they slot down over the side. And basically, you'll just stack all the batteries up. They'll just slot down over those things with little aluminium spaces. They've got little aluminium tubing, all cut to size. And they'll have to be spaces between those rods. So basically, you stack the whole batteries up, put your little nuts on top, tighten it down, tighten them down tight, which holds all the battery packs nice and stiff in place. So when I'm either driving on road or especially full driving, they're not going to want to bounce around, rock around with these, lithium batteries. You don't want that. So keeps them nice and secure. And also the advantage of this box, as you can see, the way I've made this modular system, that's all those boards you see there are basically all the boards I need. There's 16 boards I need for my battery packs. Well, there's about 2 or 3 batteries I made already, sorry, so there's 3 missing here, but what you see is what's going to be in there. As you can see, there's enough room on the side here, so in the future, if I ever come into a bit of extra batteries or money, I can literally double my entire pack and just put another 2 bits of threaded rod down there and same thing, just link it together and that's my pack. And in case any of you are wondering, the pack I'm going to be starting with, and don't ask me how many kilometers I'm going to get out of it because I really don't know. This rig is completely experimental. I can estimate around 100 kilometers range, but in all honesty I probably won't get that because, as you can see, it's a ute. It's not very heavy, it's not very aerodynamic. So, but go hard or go home, that's what I say. Anyway, but yeah, so there's going to be 75 volt, I think 75 volts and 48 amps pack. So that's what I'm going to be starting with, which I think should give me pretty decent range. But the advantage I'm going to have with this ute, which not a lot of people, even on YouTube, have really sort of thought of. I don't know if they thought it is, no one's tried it, but I sort of figure, as you can see, I have this gigantic roof here. It is a ute. I have about, it's about 2.2 long and about 1.8 wide. And with that amount of room, I did have it all welded up together, but I got a bit ahead of myself. Didn't really sort of bother to actually look up the width of my panels, and the space in between the rods is actually too small. So I've already cut one out. I've got to cut the other middle bar out, move them in slightly, and then touch up the paintwork and whatnot. But that's not a big deal. I'll wait till I've got the panels if I can measure them properly before that. But anyway, the panels, obviously there's going to be a plywood ceiling in here, which is going to fix up to the bottom of this, and in this recess is about 40 mil, which is enough room to have a solar panel sit flush in there. So the solar panel is going to sit flush in the roof. Depending on how sturdy the panel is, I may put a piece of perspex over the top here, or I may just put angle around the thing, and just either way it's going to be the panel has to be sealed in there so no water can get through the roof. But whether I put perspex on top or not is yet to be decided, because I'm not sure how much the perspex will affect the solar's power drawing abilities. But again, that's future experimentation, we'll find that out. But long story short, I can fit 2 250 watt panels in this roof, which gives me 500 watts of power. Originally I was going to put 3 150 watt panels in here, which would have fitted between these gaps I've got here. I have a problem with that as well. It just isn't really logical, because it works out more expensive to buy 3 150 watt panels as 2 250 watt panels, and I get more power of the 2 250 watt panels than the 3 150. So it's one of those things like, it just made too much sense to leave it how it was. Like, fuck it, cut it out and let's just re-weld it. But yeah, so I was going to have those panels, which I think should keep this battery bank pretty well topped up. It's not going to give me the whole perpetual motion thing, I don't think, but it should give me at least a bit of extra range, help it, with the, considering it's carrying a ute. But this is not the best part, because as you can see, if I step back a bit here, this is a front, and looks like a bit of a Mickey Mouse ears. It's not ears, it's actually 2 holes where these are going to be placed. They're a little bit crude, I know, but again, I haven't got much money. I'm using materials I've sort of salvaged and scrapped, and this whole tray I've built from stuff from the shed, timber racks that I've pulled apart. I spent probably about maybe $200 in materials in this tray. The rest I've salvaged, so I think I've done pretty well so far. But anyway, these are wind turbines, and they are going to be mounted up in the front there. And again, I figure, yes, I know, it seems a bit silly, having wind turbines, but they may only spin at highway speeds. I'm not sure how fast I'm going to need to be going from the spin, but I sort of figure what's the hurt, because you can see from a chemical like this, it's a big flat square surface, so it's not exactly aerodynamic anyway. And yes, having the wind turbines there probably will cause some drag on the car, but then so does wind hitting a big flat surface. So I sort of figure at least it's passing through these holes, which will have obviously ducting that is going, not huge ducting, it needs to have space in the tray here, but it will have a large PVC. It will be, they come into a chute that reduces down to about 110, 120 mil pipe, I think, which will shoot out the back here, and they're just going to have alternators in there, because, well, I've got a couple alternators laying around that I don't really need. Cost me nothing. They put out 14.4 volts, which I fine for charging lead acid batteries. I'll have to make sure they're fine for lithium, but again, I'm sure they will. I'm sure I'm about to figure something out. But yeah, and again, these were harvested from the thermofan from the Falcon. That was an accident. I'm going to be mounting that on there, and wind goes through these, spins these, they put power again. A bit more power in my battery pack, so hopefully it gives me that little bit of extra range. That's what it's all about, you know. It's not always about putting a massive battery pack. I sort of figure try and make some power in real time. But yeah, so that's about all I can show you for the tray. If anyone can't work out, it's just, you know, I've just used 2 mil thick steel. I think this is 20 mil thick bar here, and the rest of it's all best made of 40 mil thick bar. It's made of steel, which you may think is a bit of a silly idea considering I'm going electric, but the way I've constructed it, I can, before I put, well, I don't know if it does now, but when it was a frame, I could lift the entire thing, and I'm not really that big, so I figure if I can lift it by myself, standing in the middle of it, I think a Utes going to be able to manage it quite fine, even if it is electric. But anyway, so that's the tray. What else can I show you? Okay, well, you're probably curious about what batteries I'm using. Again, you probably heard lithium, and you probably think, if you're going to budget, how the hell you're thwarting lithium? Well, lithium is extremely expensive, but I've found a loophole, and I can manage to get a hold of these. These are drill batteries, actually, and they're not actual name brand ones, they're Chinese knockoff ones. Each one has 10 18650 cells in them. Generally speaking, from, I don't know, if you want to learn about making batteries out of 18650 cells, go on YouTube, look it up. Honestly, like, there's just too much for me to. It's not a lot. It's easy, but the thing is, like, there's a lot better videos on there where you can see how people, you know, you can harvest cells, second-hand cells from laptop batteries, which I've done a bit of, like these cells here. I've been collecting laptop batteries, so I've got to go through, test all them, try and find any ones that are still good, and, you know, make these packs out of it. But I sort of figured I can't, with the amount of batteries I need for this ute, I can't get them from, well, I probably could, but it's going to take me forever, and I need to get this ute up and running, you know, as quick as possible. So I can get these packs for, they work out to around, depending how many I buy, 35, I think they work out about between $15 and $35 a pack, depending on how many I buy at a time, which works out to, I think, if at the optimal price, I can do this entire pack for about $960, which, again, is a lot of money, but if you're talking batteries, like especially a lithium battery pack, that is extremely cheap. Anyone who knows about batteries, that is a good price, even if they are Chinese cells. The only reason I'm trusting these Chinese cells is because I'm a carpenter by trade, and, well, you buy one of these battery packs in a name brand, they cost you about $150. Buy one of these packs off eBay, they cost you, you know, as you said, about $15 to $35. And you know what? I can't tell the difference. I've been using them. Me and my dad have been using them for about 2 years now. I think I've had one that's died, but I'm saying that wasn't because it's a piece of shit battery. That was just because I think it got dropped from a great height, you know. And it might have been fine. Might have just been a damn mess. Like, if I had known stuff about batteries back then, I'd been collecting ones that broke. But anyways, they're good batteries. I trust them. I trust them enough anyway, and I can't really afford anything else. So this is what I'm using. But I'm turning these into these. This is 2 finished battery packs. This was the first one I made. Obviously, it hasn't got the finished, you know, the holes and everything, but it was the first one I made just to sort of see if it would work. It worked, so it was my second try. Pretty much exactly the same, just I've just done some things slightly tidier. these may seem a little bit dodgy, but I'd assure you they're actually very sturdy, strong batteries. I haven't soldered the wires. I've done it Kai style, which is, as you can see, I've got aluminium bus bars, thick aluminium, and I've just drilled holes and pop riveted the wires in, and it creates a very, very sturdy connection. If I ever do happen to need to pull these apart, it's just a matter of drilling these rivets out. And you can see on these battery packs, they have a little metal flange, the positive, and there's the negative. Same thing, I just drilled a hole through those and pop rivet the cable to it, and it's very, very strong connection. If you look up making these battery packs out of these cells on YouTube and that, you'll see people they'll have all the cells and make them into things, and they'll have little fuse wires all the way across in the bus bars, which a few of you probably a bit shocked by. I haven't gotten these. Only reason I haven't done that is, again, I'll be honest, a bit lazy, because I've got these battery packs. They're pre-made. They're 18 volts, 3 amps a pack. They're already a safe pack. I've taken the BMSs off them, yes, because when I left the BMSs on there, they didn't like working. They work together. The BMSs don't mind if you wire a bunch of batteries together, but and I was thinking, oh great, I can use this old Makita charger to charge them, but the charger doesn't like charging. It just recognises as a faulty battery, I'm guessing, because it's drawing a lot of power, because it's charging 4 batteries instead of 1, which it's supposed to. So I thought, well, rip the BMSs off, because they're no good to me, and I'll have to figure out some sort of charging system or some sort of way to balance these batteries later on. I'm sure there's a bunch of you that are shaking your heads right now, or more just curious. I don't know. This is, like I said, this is all completely a learning experience for me. I've just done all my own research. I'm giving it a go. So yeah. But anyway, these batteries work, and I can show you that they work because I have some test motors right here. These are actually the motors I'll be using to run the air conditioning, my brakes, and power steering, because same thing, you need to keep those all there. They're hydraulic. They generally run off your fan belt, which runs off your engine. There is no petrol engine, and again, you can get brackets for electric motors that will run all this stuff, your brakes and that kind of thing, but you got to have your electric motor idling all the time, which to me kind of defeats the purpose of an electric motor if you have to have it running all the time, because it's just going to drain your batteries quicker. All that jazz. I'd rather run a small, low draw motor that's powerful enough to run just the brakes and power steering with a switch inside the car, easily turn on and off. Again, you'll be seeing a lot. This will be going into a lot more in depth when I actually do it. It's too much to talk about all at once. I'm just trying to give you a general rundown of what's going on so far. But yeah, but these motors will be used to run, accessories and whatnot. But I'll just show you how I think this, like I said, I'm a bit foggy, 72 volts and 12 amps, I think, because the way I worked it out is like 16 of these. So these all have 4 packs, so each one of these big the modules are called. So each module has 4 packs. Each module should work out to around 72 volts and 12 amps, which means 16 of these modules should work out and all stacked together. I think 72 volts, and give me each one adds up 12 amps each time, which gives me the 48 amps once there's 16 of them. So that's my calculations. I think that's right. Again, if there's anyone out there that knows a bit more about batteries, you can let me know. I'm pretty sure that's the pack I'm making. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll do something. Again, with the amount of solar panels and wind turbines, I think it should be okay. But anyway, let's show this battery working. So again, this is quite a powerful battery, but it's alright. So we'll just got the negative wire there, and we'll just connect the positive. Just make sure this motor doesn't want to take off, and let's go. So there you go. That's some more wired together, and that's the motor working. Ooh. So yeah, they work. I'm not going to put them in the boxes yet. I'm going to wait till all the batteries are made, but that's what I've done so far. If you have, here's my fucking green wood again. If you have any questions, or you're curious about anything, I'm open to it. Like, hit me up if like I said, I'm not huge in knowledge. I'm still learning a lot myself, but I'll answer anything I know, and I'll try and keep you updated as the project goes along. Because along with the house build, when that finally bloody gets started, little long story there again, banks stuffing us around, but it'll get started eventually, and you'll see a video. But doing this in the meantime and trying to smash this out as quick as possible and get the house started as soon as possible. But keep you updated on both. Alright, so catch us next time.